Case I chose this week is the Lago Vista Independent School District versus Gerbzer. It's actually reversed. Gerbzer versus the Lago Vista School District. Another party included this is Frank Waldrop. He is the teacher. Gerbzer is the student. And of course, again, the school district as well. This all takes place in Lago Vista, Texas, with, again, Gerbzer being the student, Waldrop being the teacher. Gerbzer was Waldrop's one of Waldrop's students in his English class in high school. This is when Gerbzer had been a freshman in his class, also a sophomore. She liked Mr. Waldrop as one of her teachers, wanted to keep him as a teacher throughout possibly her years at the high school. Waldrop, the teacher, was holding group discussions, book discussions, weekly, bi-weekly discussions with students in class and also out of class time. It was in this time where Waldrop was making inappropriate, allegedly making inappropriate comments, suggestive comments towards students, and then within time they eventually became more individualized towards Gerbzer. And this was all in the spring or fall and spring of her freshman year, and then carried over into the fall of her sophomore year. Eventually, this led to Gerbzer and Waldrop engaging in sexual intercourse. They were caught by police, and then this is when Waldrop was relieved of all of his duties within the school district, and he was also stripped of his teaching credentials in the state of Texas. And within all of this, this was also never reported to anyone within the school district. It was all just kept in-house at the school. Then both arguments for both sides. Gerbzer and her mom ended up filing suits against the school district and Waldrop in state court, and they were trying to file for financial compensation for damages. Again, I'm not too sure what damages were caused here. And then the Lago Vista school district was arguing that there was no damages and there was no need for any financial compensation to the two parties. And they were also claiming that they weren't responsible for any actions of the teacher made within the classroom or with the student. The court findings, the court was in agreement that there was no responsibility on behalf of the school district for the teacher's actions, and there was not enough evidence to prove that there was any relationship between said student and teacher, Gerbzer and Waldrop, and under Title IX that the school district was not liable for anything that the teacher had engaged with the student. For as being the AD goes, this is something that we actually even today had a meeting about. We had a Title IX FERPA meeting, and with our HR department and athletic department actually. So it's something that we have to, as coaches or administrators, be on the lookout for, because in a lot of cases it becomes a he said, she said type of thing, and it never really ends in favor of the administrator or coach or even teacher. A lot of times they're just the ones that get straight thrown under the bus and have to reap all of the consequences for any actions that happen. Now, in cases where it actually does happen, of course, then consequences are, necessary to put in place for the administrator, coach, or teacher. But if anything like this is ever reported to a coach or administrator, it's always important that it needs to be reported to higher ups, to HR, to your Title IX rep, or to the president, say, or in this case, even the principal. The principal should have taken this to his higher ups, being the superintendent or somebody within the school district, so they could handle this and nip it in the butt before it got even more serious. And I think that this could have been handled a lot better by everybody. One, being the student, she could have said something earlier. Two, the parents could have just completely skipped going to the principals when they see that there was nothing being done. They could have just gone straight to the school district and talked to the superintendent or somebody else higher than the principal. And also, again, the principal should have reported this, because being that type of administrator, you're usually in the you're a mandatory reporter, as they would say. So again, I believe that this could have all been handled in a way better manner, and it could have been solved a lot earlier than it was.